Morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday, everyone. Gold's on the move. NQ's on the move. The markets are moving here already this morning. Welcome back, everyone. Good morning, guys. Good to see everyone back. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good week in the markets. Yeah, gold. NQ ripping high already here this morning. I did see this gold sell-off, which I was tempted to take, but I wanted to wait for you guys, so I thought we'd wait till we jump on together. Gold had a lovely breakout here already this morning. Look at that. Perfect 30-minute morning star. Break back lower. 7 a.m. sales there on gold. Absolutely huge. I know some of you guys did get that short already, so well done. Very well done. Audio and video good. Awesome. Thank you, man. Welcome back, everyone. If any of you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. I've been trading for the past 7 years, mainly focusing on gold futures here in the European session. So we will look to end the week off strong. Gold had some amazing moves yesterday as well. Gold just been, markets have been moving this week, guys. Markets have been moving. And one thing we have been speaking about as well, guys, is these pre-London moves on NQ. And look at this NQ run already. Yes, be a W to finish the week. Yeah, I think we might have to. A W to finish the week, absolutely. End the week off strong. But look at this. It's kind of what we've been saying a lot recently, guys. If you do trade NQ in the European session, you get a lot of moves pre-London, around like 6 a.m. to 6:30 London time. Look at that. You got that breakout today at 6:15. Huge push here. Huge push. So no trades for me just yet. So I'm flat on the day, guys. Ready to see if we get some trades here together. Switches over to makes full margin Fridays. Absolutely. So let's have a look at this daily time frame here on gold, guys. We have been, if we get rid of, let's get rid of these levels here, guys. These are, yes, let me just make sure these levels are all done. So these levels are done. If you guys who were here yesterday, you guys here in the London session, you guys on Zoom, you would know from our Asia market call. But you guys on YouTube, remember we spoke about price coming up for a wick fill here. And remember, guys, what did I also say yesterday? Remember when gold sold off here, I said I'm personally not interested in selling this. Well, why was I not interested in selling this after you wicked out some highs and closed bearish? Well, the reason I wasn't interested in selling this is because all of this was just major hourly support. And it doesn't really make too much sense to me to try and short into hourly support. And if I was watching this on just the lower time frame, like look how convinced it was to short this. Look at this. You have this huge breakdown, massive 50-minute breakout, and then it rips straight back higher. And that's exactly why I said I'm not selling gold. And if anything, gold gave a great buying opportunity yesterday. You guys who were here, and again, this is why I say to you guys, keep these levels on your charts throughout the day. They don't always have to play in the hour and a half that we're on here. These levels play out for the whole entire rest of the day. So if you keep these levels on your charts, you get some very nice trades. And yesterday it came into pre-New York, and it was a great move. Good morning, Alid. Good to see you, man. Got the longs at 130. Nice, Tom. Nice. So, yeah, great day in the markets yesterday. Like I said to you guys, keep these levels on your charts because they hit very well. And that's exactly why yesterday I said I wasn't selling gold. So even after this closed bearish, I still said I am not shorting gold. There's no real reason for me to want to sell this here. You're shorting hourly support. If anything, you should be buying this. So that's why it's always good to zoom out, have your higher time frame in mind, and then you ended up tagging lows. Look at this, closing bullish at 1 p.m. And if you took the longs here, right into that pre-New York Open, 264 ticks. Absolutely amazing. So let's get rid of these levels, guys. This was my trade from yesterday. Let's get rid of this. So now, what was this low here again? This was, I'm not sure what that low is from. It must have been a intraday low, which actually this can still be in play here. That's the low that we spoke about yesterday. So current liquidity levels on gold, you have a big massive range here. We haven't really grabbed the highs or the lows. So not grabbing the highs or the lows means we could get some pretty good liquidity plays. Now, one thing we also spoke about yesterday, guys, is the reason I wasn't selling, another reason why I wasn't selling gold yesterday is how this previous daily candle closed. You guys remember we spoke about yesterday how this day here tagged the previous day lows, failed to close below, and went all the way back above. So I was basically buying yesterday, anticipating that this was going to be a sort of morning star play on the daily time frame. Didn't quite push up into previous daily highs, but you did still close bullish, which was a pretty decent read on the day, considering we're in a little bit of noise here on gold. Now, if we kind of look at the daily time frame from here right now this is where we're starting to get a little bit choppy. And if we're starting to get a little bit choppy, well, let's have a quick look. Do we have any news today that could potentially shake things up, or do we have any news that the markets might be waiting for? Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. So what do we have? Yes, we do. Plenty. We have absolutely plenty of news today. These are European times, but on the London times, we have core CPI 1:30 London time, and then you have manufacturing PMI at 2:45 London time. So big news today. Big news today. Markets are ranging. Could be waiting for some pretty decent volume today closer to that news. Cheers, Bruno. So, yeah, daily time frames looking a little bit choppy here on gold. You know, we obviously had this huge sell-off this week. We kind of found some support. Looking like we want to pull back. I think it's going to be a day where we're going to have to be pretty reactive. Yes, it's one of the first things you guys want to do, especially if you're getting. I mean, look at the daily time frame though. You know, you can see the daily time frame is pretty choppy as well. But yeah, one of the first things you want to do is just look at the news. What news do we have for the day? Could we potentially create some chop in maybe Asia and London? Well, if we have big news coming into New York session, absolutely. So therefore, that doesn't mean we can't trade here in London today. It just means I'm not going to be looking for any sort of big breakout moves. Because if we're going to get a big breakout move today on gold, you know, it's very likely going to come closer to that news. Now, with that being said, there's still great trades here. Like this 30-minute play, you know, you're still down 270 ticks, which is absolutely huge. Yeah, there's a few different calendars you can use. Sometime I'll have a look at Forex Factory, and then I'll have a look here on Topstep X to see what you got coming up right here. Look at this. And this will be set to wherever your time is as well. So this is set to Italy time, but this is about 1:30 London time. And I'm pretty much just looking at, you know, the high impact US dollar news. And if you really want to, you can just change it to the high impact news like this. See? So you can come on, have a quick look. What we got for the day for the US dollar. Cool. Big news around this time. So could we expect a little bit of a range bound day until then? Absolutely. No, like I said, it doesn't mean we can't get trades, but it's just something to be aware of. Maybe we trade smaller sizes, we have big news. Maybe we stay more reactive to breakouts, and maybe we don't hold for some sort of much bigger trending breakouts, because a big breakout is very likely going to have to get fueled with that news. So where were we? Daily time frame here on gold. I like this to push up, and you kind of got 3 equal daily highs now. I do like these daily highs here to get tagged on gold. 4-hour time frame, you can kind of just see there's a lot of noise going on here. Look at these bodies on the 4-hour time frame. You know, you pushed up, you're kind of pushing lower, but look how small these bodies are getting. Then you just keep squeezing lower. Then on the 4-hour time frame, this looks like some pretty good levels where you probably get a lot of people maybe buying. You know, the bodies get smaller. Maybe it's time to buy more. Maybe buy more here, and gold just keeps trickling down. So pretty decent intraday sell-off so far today on gold. So let's see how we're going to react around these lows. Now, we do have kind of 2 levels down here where price could come and tag before we potentially see these longs. We have London open in 16 minutes as well. Look at the price action here. There's an hourly time frame, guys. Bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. So if the hourly time frame is chopping and we have news later on, yeah, we want to reduce the risk. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's NQ in the London session has great moves at like 6 a.m. 6:30. You know, most of the time before we jump on London session, NQ's already had a great move. Like you see a lot of great moves on London around that 6 a.m. Like this is a huge move. You know, it's already up like 40 points. It's huge. So yeah, London Open sometimes can be pretty tough for NQ. Yeah, I feel like you get a lot of the moves closer to pre-London. What did you click to change the new settings? If you just come into here in the Trader Hub, And there's this little filter icon here. Yeah, you're making too much money anyway, so you don't need any more chart time. How's already making too much? Save some for us. And yeah, just keep it to high. If you really want to, you could maybe just keep on the big currencies you want to see as well. But yeah, it's kind of what I look at. It's the very first thing I'll look at on a Sunday, on a Monday, and the first thing before we even jump on for the day. Especially if I can see that we're a little bit choppy here today. I'm like, well, it's Friday. Do we have any news? Yeah, cool. We got 2 big news events coming up today. There's no surprise. And like I said, it doesn't mean we can't trade. Like I said, it just means we need to kind of reduce our expectations and give price action a little bit of breathing room. So gold coming down in some big support here, guys. Like I say, you had this huge sell-off already. You do have a pretty decent trend line coming down that you'll very likely squeeze back higher as well. Now, you guys who were here yesterday as well, I can't remember what time it was, but at some point yesterday on yesterday's live stream, someone asked, do I use trend lines? And I explained in depth how I use trend lines, but to trade into the trend lines as opposed to try and trade out of the trend lines. So what I basically said yesterday was, if I see a trend line coming down like this, I know most people, are probably trying to look to do something like this. Unfortunately, it's not really how trend lines work anymore. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take advantage of this. I'm trying to buy up into where most people are trying to sell a third touch of a trend line. Now, it's happened most days this week. You kind of see here, this one yesterday with these longs that I took yesterday, this was our pre-London liquidity high that we spoke about, but it also formed a pretty perfect trendline liquidity play. Now look at this. There's your 1, 2, third touch. What do you do after the third touch? You come down, you tag the lows, fail to make a new low, and then close bullish. So that right there, at 1:30 London time, that is a great long. You take the trend line, exactly like we said yesterday, you mark on the highest point of the trend line, that becomes your liquidity target. Well, from there to there, you've just made 300 ticks. 300 ticks. So, kind of forming something similar here today. And you kind of had one here, and you didn't really grab that much. Kind of see here? You did grab a little bit of it, but you didn't actually grab that much, which is why I do still like gold to come back higher. And unless it's got grabbed on the currency chart, you do have a pretty perfect double top here as well. Sorry, where is it here? Pretty perfect double top, which you're very likely to get drawn back to. It did. Oh, it got grabbed in the currency. There you go. Thank you, Michael. Good spot, man. So that's been grabbed in the currency chart. So again, one thing we spoke about yesterday, guys, is how to correlate the currency chart and the futures chart. Well, you can see here on the futures chart, it's a perfect double top. Well, on the currency chart, it actually grabbed these highs before this sell-off. So that liquidity has been taken. Came close. Has it been grabbed on the currency chart? I don't have it open, so it has been grabbed. Caught that today. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, that was a great short. Yeah, them highs got grabbed in the currency. That was a great short. That was a very, very, very good short. So you didn't come up to the highest point of this trend line here today, but you did come and manipulate this high here. It's pretty much, you can see it's pretty much the exact same thing here. Look at this. Look at this. Literally twice. Trend line coming down. You bounce off third touch, tag the lows, close bullish, you rip higher. Trend line coming down, bounce off third touch, tag the lows, close bullish, rip higher. Like literally identical. 2 identical trades right there. And that's how powerful these liquidity plays are. So when most people are trying to short this trend line here, like this, you're trying to buy up into it. Same thing here. People are trying to short this trend line, and you're trying to buy up into it. Okay, back to break even. Yeah, the 1 a.m. Yeah, this was a great play. This is a very nice play. Yeah, this was how much was this? Yeah, it's like 200 ticks. Crazy. These ranges are huge. Absolutely huge. So yeah, two perfect. Like I say, we explained. The reason I'm saying this is because you guys asked yesterday, do I trade trendline liquidity? Do I trade trend lines? And I said, yes, I do trade trend lines, but not in your most conventional textbook way to trade trend lines. This is how I trade trend lines. So after I explained it in the London session when we were around here, you literally had a perfect setup of that exact strategy I spoke about in the London session yesterday. And this gave like 300 plus ticks. 300 plus ticks here. 200 plus ticks here today in Asia. And the nice thing is we do also have another one coming down right now as well, where we could be looking to do something pretty similar. So if we can tag some lows, break out, we'll do the exact same thing, but we'll look to buy up into that trend line. So potential interesting plays here. Yes, exactly, Aled, exactly. Too much value, man. Too much value. So the reason I trade like this is because I would be the one who would try and short the third touch of a trend line and get squeezed out before it does exactly what I thought it would. You know, sometimes you get these trend lines coming down like this, and you could, you know, maybe you bounce. Let me do that again. So sometimes you'll have trend lines like this. You know, you'll bounce like this, and then you'll come up to here, and then you'll do this. And then this is why I would always be the one trying to get short. I'd probably put my stop above the second touch. So, you know, sometimes you can come all the way up to the third touch. But what you can also see quite a lot is sometimes you can come up right to that second touch, liquidate that high. I would get stopped out before it does exactly what I want. So now, instead of trying to short trend lines, I'm trying to identify longs from here. And I'm buying up into that trend line. And maybe if I can get it to here, fantastic. If it's 100, 200 ticks, great. If I can get some runners up into here, amazing. But that's how I use trend lines. But that's enough. Look at all this wizardry before London's even opened. So yeah, trend lines on gold are very, very powerful. When you understand liquidity, trend lines are fantastic. Let's have a look here. So we could have a pretty decent play. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, no stop solves the problem. Yeah, something like that. And what would you need to see on the chart to start targeting the double top liquidity all the way up on gold? We got London open in 7 minutes. So let's see how this Audi's going to react. My light's gone to sleep. You know, you haven't grabbed these lows, but you are grabbing some nice lows here. So this could be enough to potentially start squeezing back higher. Now, the way I would want to, if I'm going to long this, you can kind of see, you know, you got a bit of a trend. Look at this. You never really grabbed that much here. So you kind of got a bit of a trend line coming down as well. So the way I would long this is if you start getting a bit of a breakout, potential hourly morning star play. So if this hourly can wick all the way back above these lows here, then it could be time to start buying gold. How did you ID the bottom to buy up? From the long yesterday? It's just you came down, grabbed the lows and closed bullish. I had this pre-London target high that we spoke about on our London stream. So I had clear targets, I had a grab and a breakout. Same thing here. Yeah, you could have had this touch here, you could have had this touch here. Tag the lows, close bullish, cool, there's your trade. And that's on the 15, or you can maybe look at it on the 30 as well. Here, grab the lows, held support, ripped. Grab the lows, close bullish, big rip. Big rip. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm going to get a charger for my light. 2 seconds. We've got London open in 7 minutes here, guys. How much battery do you have? How much battery do you have?
Do you know? 36%.
No, I just got to charge my light for a little bit.
There's another plug upstairs.
With USB-C?
Yeah. Next to my bed.
There we go. Sorry, guys. The light, my light died there. Let's have a look. Euro longs. Let's have a look. So that's gold, guys. We're going to wait for this London Open. Let's have a look here. NQ. So NQ's already, again, you know, this was these levels that we spoke about earlier on in the week. Like we're... Oh, my light's gone again. I'm not too sure what's going on with the light there, guys. We spoke about these highs here earlier on in the week. One thing we also spoke about yesterday, guys, you kind of still have it on here. Remember, what did we speak about yesterday on NQ? We said how on NQ you hadn't really come down for a 4-hour liquidity wick, and we were looking for longs. We were looking for longs as long as you hold above this 25,000 level. Well, you broke above it, you came down for that big liquidity wick, broke all the way back higher, and had a lovely, lovely, lovely run. Kind of took a, yeah, look at this huge pusher, guys. Look at this. You broke below 25,000, tagged these lows here. Look at this. This is, again, I didn't trade NQ yesterday. I traded gold and got a great trade on gold, but look at this, guys. It's absolutely perfect. Exactly the same we trade gold. You came down, tagged the lows, broke back above 25,000, came down for a bottom wick at the New York Open, and just had an absolutely enormous, enormous, enormous run. Why is that light gone? We should be good. We should be good. If it dies, it dies. So yeah, again, NQ. It's died. I'll leave it, guys. I'll leave it. You can see me. So NQ having a great run. Looks like you're going to come back up and tag these all-time highs. You broke above our next key level. We've spoken about all these levels this week as well. Broke above 25,250. Held it. Great breakout here in Asia. Pretty choppy price action, but again, you broke out beautifully. So I'd like to see NQ come up and squeeze some of these all-time high levels. Again, though, we want to see the Euro London Open here. So the Euro, we spoke about the Euro yesterday as well, and I kind of said that I wasn't really too interested in trading the Euro yesterday because you were back down at that major weekly support. You know, we called the nice shorts down into that support, and you pretty much ranged for most of London, broke out here in New York. Now, Euro's looking nicer. Yeah, who said Euro longs? Yeah. Trade for pips. Yeah, Euro longs look good. You have a perfect double top. You have a nice break back above our key level of 16250. You held it beautifully on the daily time frame yesterday. Look at this. Held it beautifully. Closed bullish. So yeah, I would be looking to take this higher. Yeah, 4 hour here, tagging the lows, about to close bullish as well. Yeah, this is looking very good. Look at this. Hourly tagging lows, closing bullish. Euro longs up into these highs here around 16575. Looks like a very nice long. This looks like a very nice long. Look at this. You're coming down. You're hitting these lows here. You're holding the support. Any early buys from here, stops below. You just wicked out any early buys. Closing back above. Now it's time to go stop out any early sellers. This looks very nice. Very, very, very nice. Probably my favorite setup of the day. Now, I don't trade the Euro enough to want to trade this here in London, but this is probably the nicest setup that we have looked at that hasn't already had a big push. Like I say, NQ's already kind of had a decent squeeze here. You already in it, Patrick? Where would I add to this long on NQ? I mean, you've already had this great run here, so I would need to see a bit of an hourly liquidity grab, to be honest. You come down, you grab some lows. I'll be looking for that to break back higher. So if you can maybe get long below some pre-London lows here, fantastic. Oh, yesterday's, I don't think there really was an ad, to be honest. Kind of just had depends on what time frame. Look at that perfect 30-minute morning star play. That 30-minute yesterday, look at that, right at the New York Open. Absolutely beautiful. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have added this trade yesterday on NQ. It was that big of a move in like an hour that would have pretty much been the trade done. That was a great move as well. Broke above, wicked the lows. You may have got quickly squeezed out there. Maybe if you're trading the 15, you could have maybe bought here, wrist off there, squeezed you out, closed back above, get right back in. You make back that loss and some. It was a very nice trade. But yeah, for NQ longs into London, like I say, we do have these all-time high targets above, which I would love to get into. But I would, you know, if I'm going to get long here, I want to see an hourly liquidity wick, kind of like we said yesterday. I want to see a 4-hour liquidity wick. Well, today I want to see a bit of an hourly. You can trade Forex on Topstep, but yes, you can trade foreign exchange currencies, man. Absolutely. You can pretty much any US dollar currency you like to trade, you can trade it here on futures. If you like to trade Euro USD, well, it's just the Euro futures. If you like to trade AUD USD, which is the Australian dollar, you know, if you go type in 6 here, it'll give you all the currencies. So you can trade, you know, if you're used to trading Forex, NZD USD, Swiss franc against the US dollar. Look here, Euro USD, which is the euro, Canadian dollar, GBP USD. Look at this, all of these. Absolutely you can. That's why there's no reason to not make the switch to futures. You can pretty much trade most major currencies. You can trade the yen, Swiss franc, like you can trade all major currencies. We got London Open here, guys. Good morning, Hamza. Good morning, man. So Goldie, I mean, you did wick the lows, you did hold support, but you've still closed bearish. Be honest, guys, I'm not a huge fan of the look of gold in here. If we break out, you know, I could see price coming back down into this 40.80 level. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, man. Now, if I'm going to get short here on gold, I would like to follow something pretty much identical to this. So, if we can wick out some highs from here, it's not a bad place to look for some shorts. So if we can come for a bit of a grab here, and then start to break back lower, fantastic. I mean, kind of already forming it a little bit here on the 15. How big is this range? It's a pretty decent range. It's a very big range. 272 is huge. Let me see if I can just fix this light here, guys. The plug doesn't want to stay in today, unfortunately. Can we look at the trader tagged you in on X? Yes, absolutely. First time someone's asked, I thought you guys would never ask. Absolutely, we can have a look. Remember, guys, if you want me to look at some of your trades here, if you are on X, tag hashtag London Open at TopstepTV and at the Aaron Trades. I'll be able to see your guys' charts. Let's have a look here. What we got for London Open tag today. Did you tag London Open? Or did you just tag me? If you just tagged me, I don't know if I would see it. Here we go. NY Open. How do I report this? Can you report post? Yeah. we need the London Open. Or was this an NY trade you took yesterday, maybe? Oh, is this the... Oh, yeah, sorry, man. This is the trade you took yesterday. Yes, this is... Is this the... Is that one we were talking about? Pretty sure that's the one we were talking about, right? Yes. Patrick. Amazing, Patrick. Literally perfect. Absolutely perfect, man. Patrick following the plan right there. That is amazing. That is literally perfect, man. Absolutely perfect. If you, sorry, I didn't see it, man. If you at Aaron Trades, at the Aaron Trades, that's where I'll be able to see it. That is absolutely amazing, man. It's literally the picture perfect trade. And it's exactly what we just spoke about here before even seeing your chart. So we're learning something here. So good job, Patrick. It's absolutely fantastic trade, man. Seeing the plan happen on gold, seeing the plan happen on NQ, seeing the plan happen in London, Asia, New York. Absolutely amazing, man. Fantastic. You take one to two to three of them a week, man. You're on your way to getting very consistent payouts. So incredible work. Good job, man. Very, very good work. And yeah, if you guys are, like I say, if you are on X, I am on X as the Aaron Trades, and I'll be able to see you guys trade. This is my that was the trade I took yesterday, $960. Took this little scalp from here to here. Very nice trade. So I'll share some of my trades as well. That was the 5K day the previous day. So I'm up like what 6,000 in like 2 trading days here on gold. It was very, very, very good days. Very, very good week here on gold. How don't I follow you on Twitter? That's a great question, man. That is a great question. No, I've only just started using it, to be honest, man. I've only just started using it. I just thought it'd be a good way for us to build this London Open show here. Yeah, I'm trying to post more of the trades. You know, the wins, the losses. This is a loss we took last week. You know, sharing the stats, trying to share as much as we can of the trades we take here, how the levels play out from London into New York. Yeah, trying to share as much as we can here. So if you guys are on it, we just hit 532 followers. Look at this. I'll follow you guys back as well. I tagged you in London Open as well. You did? Really? Where are we? London Open. Did I miss it, Bruno? Where? I don't see it. Unless I'm missing something. Oh, look at this. Damn. Look at this. I didn't see this. Let me just make sure we're not missing anything on gold. Now we've got time. I want to see if we wick out these 30-minute highs and then get short here. Look at that for a setup. Trading from New Zealand as well. Amazing, man. Amazing. That's a great setup. Love that, man. Look at that. That's amazing. Let's repost that. That's a great setup. That's amazing, man. Look at that. We've got the family picture. We've got the charts. We've got the printouts on the wall. Now that is a setup. That is a setup. Love that, man. Love that. Where's yours, Bruno? Bruno, you tag me? Here he is. Bruno. Nice. Bruno taking 2 payouts. Amazing, man. Look at that. Were both of them payouts just from gold, Bruno? That's amazing. Look at that. Let's repost that as well. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, GC only. Look at that, Bruno. Amazing work, man. Amazing work. 2.8 thousand and 2.6 thousand. Absolutely incredible. Very, very, very well deserved there, Bruno. Great trade. I am following you, aren't I? Yeah, I'm following you, Bruno. Good man. Yeah, incredible work, Bruno. Incredible work, man. Love to see it. Only MGC and GC. Yeah, fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. So gold trying to get a bit of a squeeze here, guys. I want to see if we can wick out these highs and then get short. NQ, remember, we could be coming down for a bit of a liquidity wick before we get long. I wouldn't really want to short a pullback here, but if you can wick down and grab these lows, I do like these longs. So potential short shaping up here in gold, potential long shaping up here in NQ. Now, gold is a little bit messy here today, guys, so I will trade small size here on gold, but I still think it could be worth a shot at trade. I still think it looks good. It looks a worthwhile position. Yeah, only MGC and GC. Amazing, man. As I say, these ranges on gold have been huge, but the price action has been phenomenal. The price action has been great. The plan has still absolutely been there. So some of you guys say, like, how are you trading in these big ranges? Well, the price action hasn't changed. The price action is the exact same. We just reduced the size. Nice one, Tim. So NQ, I think we're going to squeeze lower. Goldie. Let's have a look at some other instruments here whilst we wait here, guys. Let's have a look at copper. Copper's been waking up a bit recently since we saw that crazy drop. Bit of a breakout yesterday. Again, honestly, guys, I'm not a huge... I kind of said this yesterday, but yeah, I'm not a huge... Even though yesterday you did break out here on copper, you're breaking right into some resistance. So do I think there's a high probability and good quality trade here on copper? Not really. Why? You're right at resistance. If you break this resistance, then fantastic. You could come up and target some nice highs here, which could be, maybe Monday. You may get a nice trade on copper. You may get a decent wick fill here. But with where we are, yeah, I'm personally not a huge fan. This is nice though, you know, if you do reject from here, you're very likely bringing some sellers. Same as gold, you're likely come and squeeze some highs here on copper. How do you change your chart so quick? I just have my chart set here. So if I click tab, I can just flick between the two. So this is my chart. See, I got my main chart here of gold, and then this second chart, I'll kind of put it to whatever I want, usually NQ. If you have it set to, you know, 3, for example, you know, you might have NQ here, you might have gold here, you might have, let's say, ES here, for example. So if you're in ES, you want to switch to gold, well, I just click tab, and I can just switch between all of them. So if you, yeah, once you're in the screen, just click tab, you can just quickly filter between the two. Do you have a YouTube video where you explain your strategy? Yes, I do. I have a video coming this weekend of this day here where I made $5,100. I will post this video this weekend. Topstep have kindly put my YouTube video in the description of this stream. So yes, I have plenty of videos, but I will be specifically recapping this 5K day here on this one account on the weekend. So yes, I have lots on there, lots and lots. Let's see here. Goldie coming to squeeze these highs here, guys, which is nice. I want to see if we can squeeze these highs, break back below, and potentially look for shorts here. Any early sellers may get squeezed out here. We squeeze them out, break back below, cool, we get short. Same thing here. Squeeze out any early buyers, break out, then we get long. Squeeze out any early buyers, break out, then we get long. Well, same thing. Squeeze out any early sellers, break out, we'll get short. Still my trade from 41.20. 30-minute morning. Yes, that's a great trade. Yes, 30-minute. Yeah. I would be out of that by now. Personally, that you already hit like 237 ticks is huge, 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 huge. And I wouldn't close it just because it's 237 ticks. I would close it because you're coming into massive support. So if this trade now goes against you, you'd look back and you go, I should have closed that trade. So personally, I would be locking that in. Personally, I wouldn't be locking it in just because it's a decent amount of profit. I'd be locking it in because you're coming into a level where price could potentially go against you. So you've got a great short from here. That evening star play was fantastic. You know, if you've got short from around here, risking off these highs, you know, you could target down here, for example. But if you hit this support, personally, I'd be managing risk there because it's a big level when gold's in the overall range with major news later on and not much of a top wick here in this 4 hour. Are we going to wick the highs here, Goldie? Let's see. We're going to squeeze the highs. You wick some highs, not fully. Let's have a look. NQ. Thank you. Coming for that pullback. Yes, nice. NQ's coming for that pullback here, guys. Yeah, big hold. Yeah, very big hold. 200 plus ticks pre-London is massive. Absolutely massive. Let me see. 140, nice. 146 in the London session band is absolutely huge. You know, you get that to 5 micros, 1 contract. You know, huge, absolutely huge, especially in a pre-London session, and with how much gold has already, you know, kind of sold off a lot here in Asia. Look how much you've already sold off on gold. So when you're already down, you know, what, 630 ticks? Yeah, if you get it from here to here, that's a great trade. Can we look at silver? Absolutely. Let's have a look. We can absolutely look at silver. Anything else you guys are looking at and I haven't maybe checked it yet? Absolutely. Feel free to send it over and we can have a look. Silver. Let's have a quick look at that weekly, just as we are about to close, as it's the final trading day of the week. Yes, absolutely, man, absolutely. So you're tagging the weekly lows. You closed very bullish last week. You're finding some big resistance. Daily time frame pretty similar to gold. Now, see, here's what's interesting. Silver did kind of what we wanted gold to do yesterday, where yesterday we were buying gold up into previous daily highs. You can kind of see here on gold. I don't really correlate the two, but it's kind of interesting to see here. See how gold didn't grab the previous daily highs? Well, it actually did pretty perfectly here. So could this now be an opportunity where silver's going to have a bit of a pullback lower? Now that we've kind of tagged the highs on silver, failed to close above, where could we be coming back down into? Well, maybe come back down and squeeze some daily lows first. So 4-hour time frame here on silver. Let's have a look. You've already had, so there's previous daily lows right there. And you've already had a pretty decent sell-off here. You're coming in some big support. You may bounce back higher. You can kind of see you're trying to form this higher time frame head and shoulders. So could you maybe get a London long before then you get short into New York? Looks pretty logical to me so far. Let's have a look at what the lower time frame's saying here. Now this is a nice level where I would imagine a lot of people right now would be in something like this. And I would say, you know, same way we trade gold, is I'd be looking for opportunities to sell down into where most people are trying to buy here on silver. However, with that being said, because it is still big support, that doesn't mean you can't have an initial reaction higher off this support before then maybe grabbing it lower. And you wouldn't want to miss out on this intraday long opportunity before getting short. So I would be open to pull back longs from here. Not for a huge break back higher, but, you know, even for a bit of a pullback before getting short later on. You've just had a pretty decent hourly grab the lows. You're closing bullish. So silver longs look pretty good from here. Much nicer than gold. I would like silver longs from here, maybe back up into these highs before then you potentially get short. I wouldn't be looking for silver to have a huge another leg higher without grabbing these lows here. So I would pretty much be looking for something like this on silver before maybe you do that. Or who knows, you even just continue breaking back lower. But these lows here do look very nice for a target. So if you get some volume, you get a bit of a breakout here. Look at this 15 tag and lows closing bullish. Yeah, silver looks good. Silver looks good for longs. Which would be interesting. You guys who want me to look at the markets that you're looking at, it would also be interesting to see what you guys are looking at. So for instance, if you're looking at silver, maybe say, can you look at silver? I'm looking for longs or I'm looking for shorts. Then I can kind of see what you guys are looking at. And then I might be able to help you kind of see what I see. Now, I don't trade silver, so I have no emotional... Look at this, guys. Your trend line coming down as well. No emotional bias to where silver goes. I couldn't care if silver goes up or down. So I'll try to give you guys the most neutral bias and most neutral analysis that we can see. Goldie's in a little bit of a range here, guys. I think we're going to squeeze these highs here. It's not really worth me buying, but I do like it to come up and squeeze these highs before we get short. NQ, NQ, NQ. Let's have a look. What time is it? We just had that 15 close. So wick the highs bearish. Yeah, I like NQ to squeeze these lows here. You just tag the highs, close bearish, a little bit of a sell-off here, and now you're trying to find some support. But yeah, we've had some, like I say, we've had some great liquidity levels this week on gold. Today, I don't really have as much, and that's okay. You know, we've had some great trades, some great calls. We've made some great money this week. When I jump onto the charts there, I don't really see too much. You know, I just be a little bit more patient. If I don't trade today, who cares? We've had a great week. If we do, fantastic. I'll take it. Yeah, that's a great point, David. Yeah, it's the first bearish closure we're going to see here on gold. In like 9 straight weeks, I believe this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, like the most consecutive bullish runs I think we've seen in a very, very, very long time, if not ever. Like maybe 2 or 3 times we've seen this big of a bullish run with no pullback. So yeah, this is the first time that we're actually starting to get a big pullback. Which reminds me, where's our key levels gone? We've lost our key levels. So where's our? Let me just mark on our key levels here, guys. So go 4100, which is nice. It's better than, you know, peaking some all-time highs. Like I said, I haven't shorted gold. I haven't shorted gold in, I don't know, like 2 months or something. And the one day I do short gold, we had some absolutely amazing gains. 4150, 4050. So yeah, we got. And again, this is why you can kind of see gold's a little bit choppy right now. We've got big news later on, but you've also got gold trapped in between 4150 and 4100. Two big round psychological levels that were kind of failing to break above or below in the higher time frame. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. Are we squeezing the highs here on gold? Yeah, looks like we're going to squeeze these highs here. If I was an aggressive scalper, you could scalp it up into these highs and just kind of manage risk pretty quickly, but it's a bit too aggressive, my liking, here on a Friday. NQ in a bit of range, Goldie in a bit of range here, guys. But how's everyone found this week? How's everyone's week been? Have you guys had a good week, losing week, learning week? How's everyone found the markets this week? To me, it's been one of the best weeks in a long, long time. But again, just because it's been a good week for me, might not be a good week for you guys, and guess what? That's okay. We all have good weeks. We all have winning weeks. We all have losing weeks. But how's everyone found this week? 4,000 just below there on gold as well. 4,000. Horrible Monday. Good rest of the week. Nice, nice, nice. Full green days until today. Nice. Still amazing, man. Still amazing. Full green days is fantastic. When you have full green days, you can afford a little red day. Yeah, true. Yeah, Monday. Yes. Yep. This one didn't have any profit on the outage day. 3x of Facebook. Nice. Yeah. Up and down on the 150. Down on the 50. We can look at that, Tom. 25 entries. Yeah. Learning week for me. Good, man. Yeah, very, very good. I didn't get one, but yeah, it's very good. Been okay this week for me also. Good man, good man. Hey, even if you made money, if you broke even, took a little loss, as long as we're learning something, that's what it's all about. Even if you maybe took a break even, well, you protected your capital. Good job. Yeah, it's kind of why I do always be a little bit cautious on Fridays, especially if I've had a good week. The last thing I want to do is screw up a good week by over trading on a Friday, going right into the weekend. I got all weekend to think about what I've done. So I don't mind trading Fridays. I do get a little bit cautious though. I do maybe, especially if I've had a good week. Like if I've made money most of this week, what do I need to give it back for on a Friday? Or to hope to squeeze out a little bit more? Who cares? I've had a good week, lock it in. Well, if I've had a great week and I want to still trade on Friday because I just, I like to trade, then, maybe I'll just trade a combine or I'll trade a different account. But yeah, if I've made money, Monday to Thursday, I'm green in the week by a decent amount, I'll manage risk on Fridays. Because like I say, the last thing you want to do is if you've had a great week, screw it all up on a Friday and give it all back. Lock it in. Yes, nice, Damon. Nice. Good man. Nice, Glenn. Up there, 368. Yeah, amazing, man. Amazing. Learned a lot. Fantastic. Up in a couple of hundred across 3x of A's. Nice. Didn't trade a lot this week. Hey, good work, Sean. Good work, man. Good work. Bit of a messy week. Most of my accounts are green. Nice. Green is green, man. Just lock them out now. Yep. Good. Good man. Good man. Good man. Gold is pretty rangy here today, guys, unfortunately. So yeah, there's this huge pre-London sell-off. So it's no surprise. Pre-London gold's down 300 ticks. So a little bit of a range in here is no surprise. Oh, nice. NQ back at these lows here, guys. So NQ came down for that liquidity wick. Too bullish for me to want to sell this. If you don't mind selling, it's great. This would be my exit, and I'm kind of watching for potential longs from down here. Yeah, nice one, Alad. Talk to you soon, man. Have a great weekend as well. So NQ. Why did I speak about these lows here in NQ? Well, look how straight bullish you've been for quite some time. And after these big pushes, what do we love to do? You love to come down, grab alley lows before them potentially breaking back higher. Tag the lows, close bullish, break back higher. So you hadn't really done that in a while, and you started to find some resistance. So now if we find some support below this hourly low here on NQ and start to get some buyers stepping in, there is the potential to take this higher. So very nice pullback here on NQ. Whereas Goldie's still sleeping. And Sammy is snoring on the couch. As I said, Gold is sleeping. Literally, Sammy on cue started snoring. It's a hard life being a dog. It's a hard life. But yeah, I will do a trade breakdown over the weekend as well, guys. So you haven't quite hit these highs. You're kind of in a pretty aggressive range here. Let's see if we're going to break out from here. Let's see. We got 30-minute close coming in 5 minutes here, guys. 15-minute bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. If we break out here, you know, great. Maybe it's time just to start selling it. And we're going to come down and fill in this pre-London low. Let's see. Let's see. Don't have to tag these highs. It'd be great if we did, but if we don't, but we still break out with volume, fine, I'll still sell it. Because maybe you come back down and grab these pre-London lows, which are still 85 ticks away before potentially going back higher. So let's see here, guys. Let's see. I think you're looking at too bearish to want to buy it. Unless we start to wick back above in the next 5 minutes, great. I'll be on fast markets next week as well, guys. I'll be on fast markets on Tuesday next week, on the 28th. We'll be back on fast markets. Trade some gold and NQ in the New York session. Maybe not NQ, maybe just gold. New office hour looks good. I guess kind of new office, just Airbnb, man, in the countryside of Italy. So just streaming from the Airbnb. We got the Starlink fired up. Yeah, just trading from home. I don't have an office at the minute. We had a office back in Spain, but now yeah, I'm just trading from the Airbnb. We're kind of right in the countryside here, so there's not really any co-working offices around. So yeah, just trading from home, which is kind of nice, to be honest. As soon as I jump on with you guys, I go run around in the beautiful gardens here with Sammy and get some fresh air. Look at this on gold, guys. So why these candle closures are key here. Yeah, nice. Co-workers are located at the sports bars. Let's see how this 15 is going to close here on gold, guys. If we wick these lows and hold back above, could we scalp it long? Maybe. Look at this 30-minute candle closure. You kind of closing within the previous for the past 2 candles. So for the past hour here on gold, we haven't really got much movement, which is fine. You know, if we break out soon, great, we can take a trade. NQ's looking pretty bearish. Could you please show me how you saved each chart and tabbed them? How do you mean, sorry, man? You mean, isn't like, how do I click through the charts? Saved each chart and tab them. Tuscany, yes. I'm in Tuscany, yeah. The beautiful countryside of Tuscany. It's getting nice and cold here as well, but it's kind of nice for a change. But still pretty sunny. So that's what I do. Go for a walk around in the gardens in the morning before I jump on with you guys. Then, you know, we trade here for an hour and a half, and then I go for another walk around the gardens and get some fresh air, and then, you know, enjoy the garden, eat some food, and then trade New York, and then do it all over again. We're on the grind mode here in Tuscany. But it's kind of nice though, because I've been trading New York a lot, and New York's been great this week. We've got 1 minute till this 30 minutes closing coming in here, guys. NQ's trying to hold these hourly lows, but it's looking like this is a pretty steep push back lower. Gold has just kind of been pretty much in the exact same place since we started. So unfortunately, not that much movement yet on gold. We jumped on here. Gold's in literally the exact same place. If we do break out from here, fantastic, we can have a trade. But gold is not really moving. NQ's kind of had the nicest sell-off here. Now, we spoke about the euro longs. Did the euro longs hit? Wow, look at this big euro spike here, guys. Is there some news? French manufacturing PMI, there you go. So you had some, look at this. French and German PMI news coming out. So you got some big spikes there in the euro. I'd like them, I still like them euro longs, but it looks like you're getting a little bit choppy. Let's have a look. No, yeah. If your profits were voided, your profits were voided. You have to hit the profit target. You know, a lot of people had a lot of trades voided. So no, if you're at 2,600 on your combine, then you still have to make the rest to pass. The details, yeah, like Bruno said, the details were all in the emails as well. If they were voided, they were voided. You still have to make the 400. But you've only got 400 to go. That's great. Don't now force it just because, you know, you would have passed. Still follow the plan because you're clearly doing something right. So don't force it. Stick to the plan and you'll do it when the time is right, when the trade is right. So we just had this 30-minute close here, guys. Goldie is looking very choppy here, guys. You're kind of holding previous 30 lows, holding previous highs, holding previous 30 lows. Stuck in a little bit of range now. There you go. There's that instant bottom wick on the 30-minute. NQ trying to hold these hourly lows, which is nice, which is what I want to see. Yeah, 100% Sean. Did amazing. Still closing bearish here though on NQ. I think you may squeeze a little bit lower. Gold, if we can break out here, there is potential a quick scalp into these highs. I say scalp here because it'll be a very small scalp and I will trade very small size. But there's potential for like a 80 tick squeeze into these highs. You've instantly come down, tagged 30-minute lows, holding 4,100. If you find some support from here, there's a potential for a pullback. I just want to see some volume, to be honest. It makes me really sad. I mean, yeah, it's just one of them things. It's thing has ever happened before, but it's nothing that's in anyone's control, especially not Topstep's, and they did very well to fix it. But don't say to yourself, "I just want to pass." Like, don't think like that. You can't. If you think like that, you're going to set yourself back even longer, and then you're going to come back and say, "Damn, I should have listened." Don't think, "I just want to pass." Just trade. Don't focus about passing. Don't focus on getting payouts. Just trade. The more you focus on trying to pass, and the more you focus on, "Oh, I just want to get this pass. I just want to get the payout," the longer you're going to hold yourself back. Just focus on becoming a good trader and taking good trades. I never focus on, you know, today I'm going to try and make $1,000. Today I'm going to make $4,000. I just trade. I just focus on the charts. I don't focus on having to hit a specific goal or a certain target. I just trade the charts. I trade the charts. I look back at the end of the month and go, "Wow, that was a great month." Don't focus too much about like, you know, I'm $400 away. Like if I hit it today, I'm going to pass. And then the whole risk to reward and downside of it goes out the window. So, you know, you're $400 away from passing, which is amazing. You've already got to this point anyway. So, you know, just take your time, stay in the zone. And man, if you've got 2,600 in profit, you're doing something right. But that's why, you know, sometimes the hardest part of a combine can be that last couple of $100, because that last couple of $100 makes the whole entire trading plan go out of the window. But just focus on the plan. Focus on the plan. Look at the euro. Is the euro booming off that news? I bet it is. Yeah, look at that on the euro. Damn, look at that news. Right up for them liquidity levels. Look at that huge spike back lower initially off that news, wicked all the way back above. Look at that. Look at that on the euro. That's them liquidity highs going. So again, reason for buying the euros, you would have had a lot of people trying to short here, risking off these highs. What do? You came down, wicked the lows. It's off news, so it would have been pretty hard to trade, but there's them highs being ripped there. So nice. You'll probably come for these highs here, actually. That's probably a nicer liquidity level. Yeah, probably you could even continue going much higher. So that was look at that on the euro. Absolutely huge. It would have been hard to trade this though because it was off the news, but yeah, that was a great call either way. Yeah, the short on gold, Hamza, isn't great because you've already sold off so much here. Like you've already sold off massively. You know, the nicest short here was at 6:30 London time. So you've already had a very big sell-off. Like gold's already down, you know, 300 plus ticks. 4100's a huge level of high time frame support. Look at this, huge 4-hour support. So yeah, it's a little bit tough to short gold here. It is a little bit tough. NQ's coming back up. The market's waking up. We're moving. Let's have a look. Oh, nice. Okay. NQ could be shaping up here. You're bouncing off our hourly lows here. So you came down, tagged them lows that we spoke about, and instantly reacting higher. You may have a bit of a long here in NQ. If I trade NQ, guys, like I say, it'll be a very, very, very small size. I'll risk like maybe $50 to $100, if that. But yeah, look at that perfect bounce off them lows. Look at that nice owly now. Look at that owly gone from looking so bearish, tagging lows, to right back above. Look at that perfect liquidity level there. Everything's moving but Goldie here. To be honest, if anything, I prefer longs here on gold. You know, I do like this to come and grab these owly lows, but would I try and short this at owly spot? Not really. You know, if you look at this on gold, where would we sell? Where would we buy? Well, we should be shorting up here. If we weren't shorting here because we weren't on the charts yet, well, you have to accept it and wait. We can't start, you know, revenge trading just because we didn't get the short that we know we should have been in, because that's the real mistake here. We know we should have been in here, but we just weren't on the charts. So what do we do with that information? We have to accept it and wait. And it's as simple as that. Thank you, getting a nice squeeze here. Sometimes it's nice just to, you know, you see these levels holding and just buy. The only reason I didn't just execute off this level is because look how bearish that 30 minute was. That's a very decent bounce there. Very, very, very decent bounce. Remember, you have much higher to come here on NQ. Much, much, much higher. 25,400 on NQ looks like a pretty decent upside target, guys. Let's see, Goldie, Goldie, Goldie. Yeah, gold's probably going to come and squeeze these lows here, guys. Gold's a little bit messy here. I'm not a huge fan of gold today. The reason I'm not a huge fan of gold is because you've already had this big stuff. Like I say, you've sold off this much. You get caught up in here, you know, you can get caught going sideways. I would have shorted gold if we maybe did, you know, this, tag the highs, close back below, and then get short. Fantastic gold to short. Same here. Tag the lows, close bullish, then get long. Tag the lows, close bullish, then get long. Well, I would have done this exact same thing if we did that here. So the fact that we didn't doesn't mean I go switching up the plan. Just means I stay patient. You're in that 5 flip. What's that? Quick scalp. Remember, guys, tag hashtag London Open on X if you guys are tuning in. Remember to tag TopstepTV and myself, and I'll see you guys. See your guys' charts and trades. Yeah, NQ's come back high. If you're in the longs, fantastic. Personally, I'm not in the longs. That 30 minute was way too bearish. Goldie squeezing down, NQ squeezing higher. So, with that being said, guys, it is Friday. The markets are kind of moving. Not really that well for me here. I mean, NQ's moving nice. Is moving nice. Don't get me wrong. But look at the 30 minute. We're ripping down, then we're right back up. So if we close bullish, you know, you may have some longs on NQ closer to 9 a.m. You may get a great trade. And gold is just kind of just chopping around here, guys. You've already sold off massively pre-London, so I'm going to have to be patient on gold today. Can I cover what I did yesterday in gold in New York session? Yes, I will recap it into a trade breakdown, man. Absolutely. If you check my YouTube channel in the description below, yes, I will absolutely break it down. But for here in the London session, guys, I'm going to stay patient. I don't think I'm going to trade at all here today, to be honest, guys. I've had a great week in the markets. You know, we had $1,000 yesterday, $6,000 the day before. Sorry, $5,000 the day before. So I'm probably going to lock it out for the day and enjoy. So I will catch you guys again same time next week. Remember, you have the all-time high targets on NQ today. And gold, be patient because you have big news coming later on. So I will see you guys same time again next week. Remember, I will recap them trades over the weekend as well. So trade safe today, guys. It's Friday. You have major news later on. Don't force it. We have plenty of time. And I'll see you guys same time again on Monday. Have an amazing weekend, guys. I'll see you next week. Trade safe. Peace.